Sup, Internet world? Matthew here. For this next interview, I have moved way past excited and gotten right to honored. I'm very grateful to be able to sit down and interview Mike Ryan. He is somebody that I used to work with at Equinox Fitness Clubs. He's still with the company. He is a personal trainer. He is a trainer of trainers. He is a team leader. He's a former fitness competitor. He is a true monster of the industry. He is a wealth of information as well as inspiration for not just me, but for everybody who has ever worked with him. So there's a lot of information in this interview, and I hope you're able to glean as much of it as you can. So I'm going to stop talking and get right to Mike. Sup, Internet world? Matthew here, and I'm coming to you from the porch of an amazingly consummate professional, Mike Ryan. Mike Ryan, say hello to the Internet.
Good morning, everyone.
As many of you know, I have gone through a big dip in my own personal journey through life. I used to work at Equinox in Woodbury and Great Neck, and wasn't there for a while. Wasn't in the industry for a while. And I look back now, and I realized a lot of what took me out of that was a lot of the things that got in my own way. Primarily my own attitude towards the industry, towards the business, and towards myself. I have never really seen Mike have that problem. Not only is he an incredible professional, a trainer of trainers, somebody who's always inspired me personally, and I have to say in hindsight, I wish I paid a little more attention to the kind of things you do. So again, Mike, thank you so much for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. So now that I've kind of made you blush a little bit, let's tell the Internet exactly who you are and what you do and where you started and how long you've been doing it.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me today, Matt. So I've been in the fitness industry now for about 24 years.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of Queens College, City University of New York, in health education. Although I was studying it at the time, I was also competitive bodybuilding. And I struggled academically in my first several years of college. Okay. And I think it was just because I didn't have a chosen path. I was attending school, but I wasn't present. And after my second semester at Queens College, my GPA kind of pushed me out. And I did 2 years at Queensborough Community College until I got my academics back up. But what resonated with me from that day forward was, if I could be so diligent in the practice and the behaviors and the regimen of competitive bodybuilding, and what went into it when it regarded my training, my sleep, meal prep, and consciously being in that mindset all the time, why couldn't I apply this to every other dynamic in my life? And since then, my chosen path has kind of, like you said, it's always going to have ebbs and flows, but that's the variability of life. And without ebbs and flows, there is no resilience at the end. We have to get out of our own state of this like static inertia for us to move forward. After school, I went on in the specifics of different certifications, strength and conditioning, personal training, and so forth. In recent years, behavior and nutritional and lifestyle coaching have really come to the forefront. For the last 9 years, I've been an employee of Equinox Fitness Clubs. It's been a fantastic journey, and our platform of movement, nutrition, regeneration has inspired me to adapt those even more deeply into my life, and has changed my personal life, my outlook on my clients, my relationships, and now recently in a management position. I think it's helped me communicate at a higher level as a human being first with my team, rather than developing an employee. I like to think of it like, how can we get people better and kind of flourish from the inside out?
Oh, so wait a second. You mean this guy who's always had this intense smile, incredible attitude, you've had downside? You've had negative turns?
Yes, I have.
Oh, wow.
I think everyone has to go through it. Anyone who's told you they have not probably is not A, being completely candid with you, right, or B, not willing to face their authentic self to accept that.
See, I like how you say that. Monster Health and Fitness. I've devoted this channel to facing all those things down within myself and being honest with my audience in the goals of inspiring other people to follow in the same path. And I love how you phrase that. And I also love what you said before, static inertia. Can you shine a magnifying glass on that for us?
Sure. A lot of, I'm also an educator for the company, so right. I found a way to get my teaching message across through facilitation with using stories, with using metaphors. So, I mean, we talk about inertia in movement-based sciences, right. But, I mean, it's very applicable in mindset as well. Lacking the wherewithal or just being hesitant or fearful of moving forward in life because of the presence of the comfort level that one may have is kind of like polarizing sometimes, you know. You know what you have, you may not be thrilled with it or fulfilled, but the unknown is so frightening sometimes that you opt to stay where you are when you know that a leap of faith may bring you the fulfillment you're looking for.
You know, in my head right now, because when I was out of the business, I ended up being given some really good advice, and I started looking into thought leaders and listening to other people who have been through the negatives and come out successful. And everything you've just said, like my brain is racking for like one person to identify with, but they've all said it.
Yeah.
The most successful people have said it. Now you're a very successful manager and trainer. As I said before, at one point when I was at Woodbury, me and I think one of the trainers and one of the other massage therapists, we were joking around, and you had just gotten promoted again. You moved past tier 3. In Equinox, it's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and now tier 4, right?
Tier 3 plus.
Tier 3 plus.
And tier 4 has been rebranded to what we now call tier X, with the adage that a number was not enough for infinite potential.
Right. So it was right after you had gone to tier 3 plus, and we were sitting around. We're like, yeah, Mike got promoted again. Yeah, that's awesome. It's like, and I just kind of joked. I'm like, I think they invented that level for him, because you just always brought your education and your attitude to your clients, and you've always just kept everything a step ahead, a step above. Mm-hmm. And as you said, it's where you've been that's brought that. Your negatives that have brought that, or is it just a matter of I've just got to keep taking this up. I've got to find where I can get the clients the best result. Do you find that you're moving away from where you failed, or do you find that you're constantly moving toward where you want to
go? No, I think failure is definitely a way we learn. Mm-hmm. And although we must move past failure, mm-hmm. I tend not to forget it, because I find it to be a nice level of satisfaction within, mm-hmm. of this variance of, wow, I remember that place, that time, how it felt.
Right.
And just these like quote unquote turtle steps each day. Nice. That kind of get you to the end. Martha Beck talks about in her book, Finding Your Own North Star, she mentions turtle steps, and has those incremental turtle steps, almost like slight daily behaviors of these marginal gains, mm-hmm. create the aggregate of the outcome. So that turtle someday will climb Mount Everest and get there.
Right.
So I tend not to forget the failure, because it's making the success or new achievements or getting to a level of a better self, mm-hmm. that much more fulfilling.
Okay. All right. Now, do you have, I think I already know the answer to this question, because you know, we're of a similar mind in that regard. Do you have a specific end goal, or are you just going to keep going and going and going and see where you go when your time runs out?
I can't say I have a pinnacle. Mm. I'm just enjoying the journey. I had a conversation with one of my dear colleagues, mm-hmm. Not too long ago, and we were talking about mastery, mm-hmm. and how quite often mastery is perceived as the pinnacle.
Right.
But for me, and what I've kind of taken in these last 10 years, mm-hmm. is that the mastery is the journey. And it's almost like that pinnacle keeps getting a bumped up a little higher, and there's a part of me that doesn't really want to fully achieve that, because then this journey, this road, this growth, as the way I perceive it, is no longer there day in, day out.
All right, see, now I don't know about anybody else, but to me that actually edifies my own position. Because like I said, I knew the answer going in, but I wanted to hear you say it, and I wanted to hear you say it in such a way because I want everybody else to understand that the journey really is the key.
Yes.
Is something you would echo?
Oh yeah. You know, when I'm asking a client about how they're going to achieve their goals, they may state a goal, and it comes in and it's very abstract.
Right.
You know, I want to be healthier. Well, what does that mean? You know?
I love that one.
Yeah, I mean, healthy to 10 different people could have 10 different meanings. So we have to understand, and like Simon Sinek would say, like, we have to have the why.
Yes.
So if we understand or know what the why is, now we can apply what we're doing, why we're doing it, what it means to that client. So, you know, they come in with these outcome-based goals, and if I'm trying to educate them and get them to create a blueprint for success together, collaboratively.
Yeah.
And this is not just even on a client base. This is like in a team-based atmosphere. We like if we're gonna when this interview is over and you're gonna leave, you know, how are you gonna get there?
Right.
Wherever you're going, how are you gonna get there? Well, you may say I'm gonna drive, but how are you gonna get there? Like they always forget. Well, I got to get out of this chair first.
Right. All the steps involved.
Yes, and you can break it down so minutely. And when we're looking at behavior modification from within,
Yeah.
if we're just focused on the outcome base or that pinnacle, never considering how we're actually going to get there, it kind of exacerbates the inertia because it's so scary to look up. But meanwhile, if we just did these little baby steps, get out of the chair first. For instance, when I recovered from my hip replacement,
I wanted to ask you about that. Thank you.
you know, I knew that in 8 weeks I'd be close to where I wanted to be again. Here I am 6 months down the road, and I've probably about 80%. But the proactive mindset that I'm preparing before the surgery, I'm preparing for the surgery so I can recover from the surgery.
I remember, I never saw you post so much on Instagram before until you were like those last few weeks before the surgery. This is what the part's going to look like. This is the doctor. This is the nurse. This is the hospital. It was like I wouldn't want to even say psyched yourself up. You really, I mean, you opened a door. And I think for everyone who was following you, I think you really showed people a certain measure of vulnerability, but you really put into practice exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. The vulnerability, like that opportunity to put out there and get out of that fear of yourself. And what is fear? I mean, we're not talking about going to a scary movie.
Right.
Fear as an acronym is false emotion appearing real.
Yeah.
So if you can make yourselves or make myself vulnerable and put it out there and say, you know what, I am far from perfection. There's this so much more that I have to make up, or there's so much opportunity for improvement. If I'm okay saying that about myself, I'm therefore a better coach to others.
That's incredible. Yeah, because you know what? And I have to say, looking back on the little pissant that I was back in my 20s, you want to put up this, especially for guys, I know, we have to put up this front. We have to put up this air of, invincibility and, oh, I got this, until eventually it all just comes out of your hands and you go, oh, I don't have anything. And I like how you frame that vulnerability right next to honesty and really put it out there, and that you're not going to help anyone unless you're willing to be completely open. And you find that works with your clients.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned the tiers at Equinox. When you get selected for Tier X, there is a curriculum which is pretty much a condensed graduate program. Several months. But you almost kind of feel yourself morphing through the process. And I kind of, again, to use another metaphor, like I went in there like bundled up and willing to accept the process, right? So I probably had my coat off before I got in there. But by the end, and I used to say this to one of my colleagues, one of my mates in there, like, do you feel it? From week to week, we're evolving. And he agreed. And by the end, I mean, we shed tons of crucial conversations in there, motivational interviewing, lots of emotion, tears as a group, and like you're basically like clothed without clothes, standing on the tip of that Titanic like Leo, and like I'm the king of the world. I'm in this freedom pose, like here I am. If you don't if you can't accept what I am, and I'm fully exposed to you,
Yeah.
there's nothing left I can reveal.
So that's the kind of attitude you bring with you into your professional life as not just a trainer, but also as a leader, as a manager, and as a human being.
Yeah. Sometimes I can't remember who I'm quoting in military, but like, if you can't go into the battlefield before your team, if you can't lead them in there, how do you expect them to go in if you're... So, when it comes to this, it's a similar mindset, but I like to think of it like that process gave me the lens to understand that what is extremely elementary to me may be tremendously advanced to someone else. And I can't undermine that, and I can't belittle that. We have to be empathetic, we have to be patient, and if I can't be those ways with myself and understand that tough stuff's going to happen, challenge is going to happen, it's about how I'm reacting to it, how I'm overcoming it.
That is perfect. I really... Okay, if this interview had to have a pinnacle, that would be it.
Okay.
All right, so Mike, thank you again so much.
Thank you.
For your time. So can people follow you?
Yes, you can follow me. My handle on Twitter and Instagram is @mryanfitpro. Facebook, it's Michael Ryan Equinox. That's it.
All right, so we're going to put all that down in the description below. Go check him out. I'm also going to go over some of the authors that you just mentioned, and I'm going to put some of their links down below as well, so people can check out some of the things that you've read. Maybe get a little bit more insight into what makes this guy tick. Mike, thanks so much.
All right.
For everybody else out there, take something out of this interview. There was a lot to take, so get out there and make something else of your life. Do something more for yourself, and whatever you do, do not stop. Total steps, right?
Commit to something.
Absolutely. Right. Peace, love, and protein pancakes. Talk to everybody soon.
Bye.
Wow. There was indeed a lot of information in that interview as promised. So I'm hoping you were able to take something out of it that can help you along in your health and fitness journey. And if you liked what you saw here, don't forget to subscribe to Monster Health and Fitness for more. Like and comment on this video and share it on as many social media platforms as you like. Also, don't forget to go down to the description below where you can find how to follow Mike on social media. And you can also check out some great information about the people that he mentioned in his interview. You can get some more information on the people that have inspired a guy like him. All right, so stay here with Monster Health and Fitness, and I promise to be bringing you another fantastic interview like this very soon. Peace, love, and protein pancakes. Talk to everybody soon.